Hello, everyone. Welcome to another live session. Today is March 19th, 2025, on the topic of why chaos can bring life's breakthroughs. Why chaos can bring life's breakthroughs. And the reason why I wanted to talk about this topic is there's some chaos going actually in my life right now. And it's very relevant to what's going on in my life, but and so I thought I would share, my perspective on how I've been managing and handling the chaos in my life, um, so that you can be inspired, or you can take influence, or it can help you in any way, shape, or form. So welcome to this live session, on why chaos can bring life breakthroughs. Hi, Niger. Welcome to the room. Welcome to the room. Okay, so let's just I'm just trying to get my center together because I'm going through some chaos. And let's just bring it all together, and then let's clear the energy of the room. And then we'll talk about this topic. I want to engage with you. If you have questions about this topic or other topics, please let me know. This is the time to ask while I am here live. So the topic is why chaos can bring life breakthroughs. So let's just breathe naturally, stay present in the now, and let's clear the energy of the room. Dear God, angels, spirit guides, and message divine creator, thank you so much for allowing us to create this sacred space on the topic of why chaos can bring life's breakthroughs. Thank you so much for being here with us and guiding each and every one of us who is going through some level of chaos. I'm sure many of us are, whether it's lower level or higher levels of chaos. So we thank you so much for being here and guiding this message and guiding the words and phrases and sentences that I'm about to speak, so that it can help everyone here in this room and beyond at the highest and best level. Thank you so much for removing any low frequency energies from this sacred space that do not serve the highest and best good of all the beautiful souls in this room. Allow this session to go off without a hitch, to be guided by peace, serenity, wisdom, and flow. And so it is. Namaste. Hi, Heidi. How are you? Hi, Jeremias. How are you? Okay. Oh, Grand Rising to you as well, Heidi. So the topic today is why chaos can bring life's breakthroughs. Um, it's really kind of the yin and yang dynamic that we're talking about here. Is that the yin are in opposite, sides of the coin, or the opposite forces, right? And so chaos is like an extreme of one side. I would say chaos feels more like an extreme of the yang energy, where everything seems to not be going right, nothing is happening for you. It feels like everything is going wrong, right? That's how it feels like. It feels like nothing is going right. And so the way the laws of the universe really work is that you get to the extreme in order to start turning it around, in order for that yin energy to start to come in to balance out the yang. So you get the extreme so that the other opposing force is going to come in stronger. So there's a balance here. And so what it is this in terms of your spiritual test or your karmic test in this life, your test is to have these moments of chaos, which really is a sign that you can make a breakthrough. Instead of seeing it as how can I redefine chaos? How can I bring a new meaning to chaos? And that's really where you're going to start making the breakthrough. Is I have all this stuff going on in my life. My relationships are not working. My career is not working. This is not working. This is not working. And everything seems to just, you know, come to fruition that is not allowing me to feel peaceful, right? That's that chaos energy where nothing is going right and you're just kind of lost and confused and it feels like nothing is working. That is actually a sign or a signal that you can make a breakthrough. That's actually a sign. That's actually a precursor to the breakthrough. And I always say that the universe is always testing each and every one of us, testing each and every one of us. What are we going to do with this situation? That when you are on the verge of a breakthrough, things seem more chaotic because it's a test. It's a test to, are you going to fold or are you going to uprise? What are you going to do? Are you going to fold or are you going to transcend? That's why chaos becomes your greatest opportunity for breakthrough. Because if you do fold, then it's not going to be so good. But if you don't fold and you usher up all of your energy and focus that energy. Focus that energy and get through the situation, get through the chaos, get through the eye of the storm. What is on the other side? It's rainbows, it's peace, it's prosperity, it's abundance, right? Think about it. So it's a test. Can you move through the eye of the storm to reach a higher vibrational frequency, to reach a higher consciousness level for your expansion and growth? That's what it is really all about. It's about your soul's expansion and growth. And we are all here for that expansion and growth. And so we're all being tested in different ways to see if are we going to be able to move through that eye of that storm and lift ourselves up. That's the reason why chaos becomes such an incredible opportunity to level up to the next level of your life. That's when you make the real breakthrough. Because think about it. If you're in this eye of the storm and you make a breakthrough and you rise up from the eye of the storm, that's a breakthrough, right? You have you have leveled up and you have transcended the eye of the storm, which is a breakthrough in your life. That's when people really make breakthroughs, is when they are truly in that eye of the storm. And so one of the things that the divine has given us so generously is the option of choice. It's always the option of choice. We have that freedom of choice. Which option are we going to take in that eye of the storm? Which one are we going to take? We're in the storm and it's all chaos. It's this, it's this, it's this, it's this, it's this, it's this, it's this. Everything's happening, right? And our mind is spinning. Oh my God. And we're so stressed and we can't handle it. But we have an option, right? We have an absolute option of how we're going to respond to that storm, right? We always have an option of how we're going to respond. And it's the way you respond and it's the way you manage your internal world. And then you project that out and then you make decisions and you take action that's going to mean breakthrough or not. Right? So it is the greatest opportunity. This eye of the storm is the most opportune moment to make the breakthrough. And oftentimes, when people are at the verge of making a breakthrough, as if you are on that edge of that cliff to make a breakthrough, that's when the biggest chaos comes in. I've seen it in my life. I've seen it in other people's life. I've seen it in so many situations. I've seen it in businesses. I've seen it in relationships. I've seen it in finances. I've seen it everywhere. that when somebody really makes that breakthrough is because they have gone through that eye of the storm and they have transcended themselves and leveled up. So this is an internal world exercise for you of how you're going to respond to that chaos. And so I want to talk a little bit about how to manage this chaos so you can make that breakthrough. What do I do? What do I say to myself? How do I behave? What thoughts and feelings do I bring in? I want to give you some tools and tips on what to do to manage the chaos to help you make that breakthrough, to make the choice that I'm going to make a breakthrough, as opposed to cave in to the chaos, which we can all easily do, right? Because it's so overwhelming. We can all easily cave into chaos because it is really overwhelming. So I want to give you some of the tips that I employ in my life to manage chaos when chaos comes. And sometimes chaos will be at a smaller level, and sometimes chaos will be at a higher level. And so I want to share with you some of the tips that I employ in my own life to manage this chaos so that I could keep expanding and growing the soul. The whole objective, the deepest objective of your life is to expand and grow your eternal part of yourself, the soul. That's the real objective here. And the way you expand and grow at a at a faster level, a higher level, is when you make those breakthroughs during the eye of the storm. So if you have any questions about this so far, let me know. Okay, let me see if there's any questions. Hello, Kathy Maricas. Hi, how are you? I feel that I have been in the storm and taking me too long to break through. Heidi says, I'm telling myself to remain centered and get aligned. I'm outside and so windy. The pine trees are swaying. Oh my God, Heidi. That sounds beautiful. Wow, the pine trees are swaying. I can just visualize it. Okay. Thank you for sharing that beautiful image. Kathy, okay. So I hear what you're saying because sometimes people are saying, Moon, I have been in the storm for 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. Nothing has gone my way. Nothing has gone my way. And for you, Kathy, it's because it's a trained method now. It's like a default. It's a default. So what happens is you've gained a certain momentum in the pattern of your life. And so then that pattern keeps showing up over and over again. And so now when the pattern keeps showing up over and over again, it's a habit of what vibrational frequency you're expressing out into the world. What your subconscious mind is telling you. It's become a deeper programming that you have. And that deeper programming gets harder and harder to break through because you've had it for 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, whatever. The longer it goes, the more deeper it's programmed into that subconscious mind. And so when you're seeing a long time of not having that breakthrough, it's because there's really that momentum has become big now. And when it gets big, it gets harder to reverse, right? And everything could be reprogrammed. Everything could get reversed. Everything. Because energy, we're talking about energetic forces. We're talking about energy. Energy can change and shift like that in the now, right? The power of now. It can shift like that in the now. The only constant is change. The only constant is change. And the thing is that the momentum of your life is so deep that it keeps perpetuating. You keep seeing the same thing over and over again. And then as you're seeing the same thing over and over again in your life, you say, that's evidence. That is evidence. Moon, I have been poor for 20 years. I can never get a break. And so if you've been poor for 3 years, then you're saying, I'm poor. You're going to keep telling that story to yourself, right? I don't have money. I don't have money. I'm poor. Then another 3 years goes by, let's say 8 years go by, you still don't have money. You're saying that to yourself. I don't have money. I don't have money. I'm poor. I'm poor. 12 years goes by. I don't have money. I'm poor. I'm poor. I've always been poor. So by seeing what you call evidence of the outside world, what's in your bank account, that's an observation that you're making, and you're saying that's evidence because, and I understand why you're saying it's evidence because that is your physical reality. Physical reality. But you have to always remember that physical reality comes out of the metaphysical. It's all energy. Everything comes out of energy, energetic frequencies, energy consciousness, all happenings in this physical plane, in this material world, in this life space consciousness, what we call reality. And I say quote unquote reality because it's just really a projection. It's a hologram. This, what we call reality, is really a hologram of our collective consciousness or our individual consciousness. And so as we keep observing that hologram and we call it evidence, right? There's no money in the bank. There's no money. We keep seeing the same thing come back to us over and over again. And now when it's happened for 10, 15, 20 years, you've created a big momentum. You've created that your subconscious mind is defaulting to that, and it's trying to, and it's trying for you to, like, your subconscious mind is like saying, you're poor, you're not good enough to have money, you're not worthy enough to have money. It's saying these things to you, and it's because your subconscious mind really wants to protect you. It really wants to support you, but it's what it's programmed with that is going to create, and you're going to keep seeing these patterns in your life. And so the first thing is that you have to understand, Kathy, that A, just because you've been in that space for 10 years, a long time, doesn't mean that has to be tomorrow or next year that way. Nobody's saying it's going to turn around in 2 seconds because you've got to reprogram yourself, right? But it does. The first thing you have to say to yourself, no, this is not going to be my story. This is not going to be my life. It stops right now. It pauses right here. Have an awareness and acknowledge that my future does not have to be this, continue to be this. Acknowledge that and say that out loud. I command my subconscious mind to stop thinking, to stop believing that I'm poor. Or I command my subconscious mind to stop believing that I'm not worthy or good enough to have money. Acknowledge that. Say that to your subconscious mind. Acknowledge that your future can absolutely be different. That's step number 1. Step number 2, command your subconscious mind. I command you to stop thinking, stop believing. I love your subconscious mind, but I command you to stop believing that I will always be poor. That's number 2. Number 1, have an awareness that your future can be different. Number 2, say that to your subconscious mind. Stop it, stop it. And you keep practicing that. And then number 3 is, what can I say to myself that could allow me to start retraining that subconscious mind, reprogramming that mind to start to say, you know what? I may not have $1 million in the bank today, but I have hope that I will have it for the future. So that statement sounds kind of realistic, right? It doesn't sound crazy. It doesn't sound like, oh, I'm going to have $1 million tomorrow. But it says, you know what? I may not have it today, but I have hope that it's gonna be there tomorrow. That's a better statement. You're not going extreme, right? You're saying that because energy can shift and change constantly based on what you're saying to yourself, what you're feeling, and what actions you're taking, what behavior do you doing. And all those behaviors are going to come from where your mental emotional space is. All your behaviors are going to come from where your mental emotional space is. And if you feel that you are poor, your mental emotional, you project you poor, then of course your behavior is going to reflect lack and poorness, right? it aligns. It all aligns together. And then the universe is going to keep showing you the same thing over and over again, Kathy. And so this is something that you want to make sure you're aware of, and that you're catching what you're thinking and what you're feeling. You're catching it. You're catching it so the momentum doesn't get bigger and bigger and bigger. You want to stop that runaway train. We're trying to at least stop or slow down that runaway. The train is going like this now, and you're trying to stop it, not let it go so fast. Trying to put a stop to it, some break to it. You're not going to do it overnight, but even if you did it, let's say for 1 month, you'll start to see different results. You'll start to see small wins. Okay, so hi, the facts. Let's see if there's any other question. The facts of life. But why does everything bad happen at once when going through? Yes, that is the definition of chaos. Is that the reason why is because when you are about to make when you're about to make that breakthrough, the breakthrough happens when the energy is strong, right? When the energy is strong, think about it. The stronger the energy is, and the ability to make that breakthrough, ability to transcend that strong energy is called a breakthrough. If the energy was weak, there's nothing to break through, right? So it's because when all of the things happen all at once, it's showing your strong energy. Strong energy. And can you transcend that strong energy? Can you move through that eye of the storm? Because the eye of the storm is not a weak energy, right? It's strong. It's strong. That's why everything happens at one time, because the energy must be strong for you to be able to transcend it. That's when the breakthrough happens. Because if the energy is weak, that's not a breakthrough. If let's say you're, think about it. Think about the energy of the eye of the storm versus the energy of light winds and light rain. Very different energy, right? Light wind, light rain, and the eye of the storm. And if you transcend the eye of the storm, if you're walking through the rain with light wind and rain, are you really making a breakthrough in your life? Are you really transcending to a higher level? No. You're doing it when the energy is strong. That's the point. That's why it all happens at once, because the energy needs to be strong. And that's why it's called chaos. Because chaos is like when everything's happening, right? And that's a signal that you have an opportunity to make a breakthrough. That's what the universe is saying. You actually have an opportunity now to make a breakthrough when it all feels chaotic. That's your opportunity. The energy must feel strong. That's why it all happens at once. I hope that has helped you. It's a great question. It's a wonderful question. And I think that is exactly the reason why it's happening all at once. Hi, Niger says, maintaining calm inner peace during chaos is never level skill and resilience. It's next level skill and resilience. Yes. And that's not to say that you can't have some level of stress, because we're human beings. It's to say that in spite of what's going on, how are you reacting to it? How are you responding to it? You might feel some stress internally, but the way you are still managing it and approaching it with mindfulness, that makes a huge difference. Doesn't mean that you're still not going to feel that stress, because I think very few people can really stay totally peaceful. Maybe the Buddha, or maybe Thich Nhat Hanh, or maybe one of these bodhisattva can stay calm. But that takes a lot of training, right? To stay calm when nothing is going your way. It doesn't mean that you're not going to have some stress. In spite of the stress, how are you managing it? How are you dealing with it? Okay. Kathy says, I feel that I am carrying my ancestors' karma and pattern feels heavy. How to heal that, right? So, yes, you do inherit ancestry karma, but karma can always be broken. So, if you believe that it cannot be broken, then it won't be broken. So, it's about anything could be broken. All energy can shift and change and move. Karma is energy. That's what it really is. So if you believe that it cannot be broken because you inherit it, then it will be so. You must acknowledge that it can be broken. You must believe that it can be broken. That is the precursor to breaking ancestry karma. That is the precursor to it. And if you study spiritual traditions, many will say that it can be broken. It can be broken by your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions. It can absolutely be broken. And the reason why it's called, it's there's a karma there is because, yeah, you inherit that karma, but now you're given an opportunity in this life. How are you going to respond to that karma? Are you going to cave into that karma? Or are you going to transcend? Are you going to level up? Are you going to make a breakthrough? That's a choice that you're given. So you can always change karma based on where you position your internal world. So the first thing is say, my karma, I have inherited this karma, but I know I can break it and I can transcend this karma. That's what I would say. Keep repeating that to yourself. I have inherited this karma, but I know it can be broken. I don't have to live with it for the rest of my life in this life. That's the premise. That's the precursor to breaking that karma. You have to believe that it can be broken. And it's when we don't believe that, that we can't shake it off, that we hold on to it. First, Najera, for some reason, I've been desiring change in my life, like complete transformation. Najera, I think that's a beautiful thing that you want a complete transformation. And I think you should start writing down what that transformation looks like. What does that transformation look like to you? You could have two columns, Najera now and Najera future. What is the Najera that you want to see? Who is the Najera now? Write it down. And write down the Niger that you want to see, 3 years from now, 5 years from now, whatever it is. Write it down and say, wow, look at the difference. Now I have these two columns of who I am now and who I want to be. How do I move from this to this? How do I move? What can I say? The first thing is your thoughts. What can I say to myself to start moving from column A to column B? To start moving from the old pattern Nigeria to the new pattern Nigeria. What do I need to say, feel, and behave? What do I need to say, say, feel, and behave to start moving to column B? So write it down, create those two columns, Nigeria. Do an exercise. It's really important. And then maybe you want to leave it and maybe, you write everything down and then you want to leave it. And then you go back to it a week later, 2 weeks later to look at it with more fresh eyes. Sometimes you need fresh eyes to really see, wow, this is where I am and this is where I want to be. And then start writing down, what do I need to do to start from going from column A to column B? That's a wonderful exercise for you. Writing things down is the most powerful tool. It really is. Hi, Melissa Harper. Thank you so much for sending love to everyone in this chat. Deeply appreciate your beautiful energy. Thank you so much. And we send love in return to you. Thank you so much. The high facts of life. Thank you, Mona. I'm formerly the ex-church girl. Oh, needed this message today. Peace and blessing. Oh, hi, ex-church girl. Oh my God. The facts of life. You changed it. I like it. I like the facts of life. It's a beautiful new I don't know, is it acronym? What do we call it? I mean, it's obviously not your name, but I liked Ex Church Girl, but I also like Facts of Life. So welcome. Nice to see you. Um, Heidi says, changing one's perspective to why is this happening to what is this teaching me? Absolutely. Absolutely. So let's start getting into um, some of the ways that you could start to deal. How do you manage when there's chaos? Let's share some of the tools and tips that I employ in my own life to manage chaos. And so the first thing I do is when there's chaos going, I make sure that I just pause. I pause. When I'm feeling this chaos, I just pause. I don't try to do anything. Even if it's pausing for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15, just pausing and really taking in my breath in and out. The breath is what connects your mind, body, and soul. It's the force of life. It's prana. It's chi. It's ki. It's life force energy. So you want to make sure you're connecting with that life force energy. Takes some deep breaths in and out. That's helping you to settle your energy. That's what it's doing. Pause. Take deep breaths. Settle your energy. And it could be for 5 minutes. If you just have 5 minutes, then do it for 5 minutes. 10 minutes, 15 minutes. It doesn't have to be half an hour like that. It doesn't have to be a full meditation or anything like that. Because sometimes we're busy. When we're chaos, there's a lot of things that need our attention, right? That feels like it needs attention. So we might not have half an hour or an hour to, just focus on our breath. So the first thing is this. Yes, Heidi says pausing brings ourselves back to the present. Absolutely. The power of now. You always want to bring yourself back to this powerful moment of now. And then what you do is this is that you could write down, okay, what's going on in my life? I got to deal with this. I have a family member who's really sick that I have to help. I have to, deal with this for my child. I have to, deal with this IRS or the tax, or I have to do. So you write down everything that is going on that you can see that's creating this kind of that you think is quote unquote chaos. And you say to yourself, okay, let me prioritize what is today, in the next 1 hour, 2 hours, what do I deal with first? What do I just manage first? First. And what you do is you compartmentalize that and you focus on that and you leave everything aside. You focus on that. So you focus on that for maybe the next hour, maybe the next 30 minutes, maybe the next 2 hours. And you're going to see, wow, I made some dent in this situation. I'm making some progress, or I resolved it by doing this. And I highly focus my attention to that one task. So you're basically focusing your attention one by one. It's like a buffet table. You couldn't eat the whole thing, right? And it feels chaotic, but you're going to eat one thing. Maybe you're going to eat the celery stick first. That's what you're going to focus on. You're just going to eat the celery stick. You're not going to eat everything. You're not going to eat the celery stick and then the pie and the soup. You're not going to eat it all at once. You're going to first eat the celery stick and you're going to focus on eating that celery stick first. That's what it is. And then after you do that, see how you feel. Take an inventory. Do I feel good? Do I feel like I can move on to the next task? Or do I need to recenter myself again? Maybe I need to take a walk now. Maybe I need to go back to my breath again. What do I take an assessment of what you need? What does your mental, emotional, and physical space need? Maybe you need to do some stretching. Maybe you need to, I like to do gua sha sometimes, the Chinese gua sha where you're scraping your fascia. I do that sometimes. That also helps with my stress because it's moving energy, or maybe some tapping, or maybe taking a walk, or maybe you can move on to the next task. because you're still feeling calm and you're feeling productive and you're feeling like you're in flow and you could move to the next task. So the secret here is to just deal with one thing at a time, one thing, and to focus your intention. And you set an intention every time you do that. Tashi says, okay, I have these things going on in my life. This is the first thing. And then you set an intention. I set an intention now to focus on this task and be highly productive. I set an intention to focus on this task and be highly productive. So that you set your intention, you set your energy just to focus on that task and not think about the other stuff. The other stuff will be dealt with one by one, one by one, one by one. And even if it doesn't completely resolve right away, the fact that you took one step forward for that situation is huge, because that one step forward is helping you resolve that situation. Because after you take that one step forward, maybe tomorrow or next week, you'll take the second step forward for that situation, right? Because maybe you take one step and that's all you could do today, but there's other steps that need to happen or other things that need to happen. But the fact that you took that one step is going in the right direction. So be okay with that it's not completely resolved today. It's okay. Nothing, it's always about the journey. It's never about the destination. You're constantly on a journey of expansion and growth. You're constantly working on something. You're constantly creating. You're constantly building. You're constantly solving problems and solutions. That's part of the journey of being in this time space reality called life. So it's okay that it's not completely resolved today. That's part of the journey. And be okay that you took that step and it's moving towards the solution. So that's the way to really deal with chaos. That's how I deal with it. Is I literally, and I check in with myself constantly. I check in with myself. How do I feel right now? What am I thinking? What am I feeling? Can I move forward with the next task, or do I need to take a break? Do I need to go for a walk? Do I need to walk my dog? Do I need to do the dish? Like I check in with myself constantly. And when I feel like really feeling that overwhelm, I go to my breath. I always pause and go to my breath. And then I always say things like, I don't know what the answer is right now. I don't need to know what the answer is right now. The divine has my back. And I know that everything will unfold itself as it should. So I say things like, I don't need to know everything right now. Nothing needs to be all solved right now. It's the journey of unfolding. Everything is the journey of unfolding. And keep reminding yourself of that. It's the journey. And thank you for giving me this opportunity to make a wonderful big breakthrough in my life. Thank you for giving me these opportunities to make a big breakthrough in my life. Acknowledge that, acknowledge that this is an opportunity. This is an opportunity to make my greatest breakthrough in my life. Okay. Hi, Melissa. I'm excited to get my tuning forks to move some energy with vibrational healing. I love tuning forks. I have tuning forks myself. Wonderful. Congratulations on getting your tuning forks. They're wonderful tools to do some energetic healing. So I love them. Hi, Vaishali Miklani. What a beautiful name. Vaishali Miklani. Wow, beautiful name. Thank you for joining us. Heidi says, I use sound frequencies every day and I found it so beneficial. Yes, sound frequencies are wonderful. They are so healing, aren't they? And they just allow you to just release and let go and be present in the now. That's what I love. I have lots of sound frequency, including one right here. I have one with me right here. This one here on my desk. I keep on my desk, and I have a bunch in my meditation room as well. Hi, Melissa Harper. Okay. So does anybody else have any questions about this topic or any other topic that you want me to answer questions about, provide feedback or comments that can help you in recognizing that chaos is a sign, an opportunity to make a breakthrough in your life. So change the story rather than saying, "Oh my God." And you have a right to feel overwhelmed, right? You're a human being. You have a right to have that feeling because it's inevitable. We're human beings, right? So you have a right to have those feelings. But it's how you're going to manage that is where you're gonna make a breakthrough or not. So say, so pause, say, thank you for this opportunity for me to make a breakthrough while I'm still feeling overwhelmed. Thank you for this opportunity for me to make a breakthrough with this chaos in my life, and acknowledge that first. And then two, pause, get your breath, connect with your life force energy, prana, chi, connect with it. Be one with it. Be in the presence of it, in the power of now. And then once you've gotten some settled energy, that's when you can actually write down what it is, what are the challenges that you're facing, what are all the chaos going on in your life, and what are some of the actions that you need to take to deal with that, right? Oh, I've got to move next week. I've got to move in like 2 weeks. My landlord's kicking me out. That's pretty stressful, right? That's pretty stressful. I got to find an apartment. But the more you could settle that energy and then you say, okay, that's priority number one. I'm going to work on that for the next 2 hours, 3 hours. I'm going to work on looking all the listings of what properties are out there that I could move to. But settle that energy and then say, I'm going to focus on this task. This is it. That's all I'm going to focus on. This is it. This is all I'm going to focus on right now. And then once I know that I've done everything that I could for today or for this moment on that task, then I'm going to either take a break, or if I feel good and I feel like I'm still in the flow, then I can move to the next thing. So you're really literally one step at a time. Remind yourself. And before you start the task, set the intention. I set the intention to move through this task with flow, ease, productivity. Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to be constructive, productive in this task. Set that intention because you want to connect with that energy so that when you're actually doing the task, you're highly effective, you're highly constructive, you're highly efficient, you're highly productive. Okay. Okay, so let's see. You're welcome, Kathy. It's my honor to serve you and to help you in your journey of life. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Kathy, for saying. She says, I am breaking through. Thank you. Thank you for saying that. I am breaking through. My karma no longer has a hold on me. I can change my karma. I can break through my karma. And so thank you for starting to bring that language into your life. It's really an amazing big step. When you actually recognize and have an awareness, it's a huge step. Yes, I like that, Heidi. Thank you. Heidi says, I tell myself small steps forward when overwhelmed. Beautiful. Thank you so much, Heidi. I tell small steps forward. I love that. Very short, very pithy, but it's effective. It's effective. Small steps forward. Thank you. I love that. I love that. Small steps forward. Affirmations do work. Yes, they do. Because you know what? Think about it. If you say something a million times, your subconscious mind is going to start to believe it, right? So, what a belief system is, a thought that you just repeat over and over again. That's what a belief system is. That's why we have people that they could look at the same situation, right? There's somebody that could see a car accident, right? And one person and they saw the same exact thing. They were like on the same spot and they see it. One person will say this and another person will say something completely opposite. They'll have two different stories, right? You see that where you see, or you could show them evidence and one person would say something completely different from the other person. It's because they formed a belief system through their personal experience, through each of their personal experience. That's why they're coming to completely two different conclusions. So a belief system is what you repeat over and thoughts that you repeat over and over again. And so people who really break through, they have trained themselves to not have limiting thoughts, to not stay in they don't stay in that limiting belief system. They know that if they keep trying, if they keep going, if they keep going, they keep solving, that they're going to make a break. They know that no matter what the situation is, and that's where successful people really become successful. Whatever, however you define success. But most people define success as somebody who might be, I'm successful at business or I'm successful as career, right? A lot of those people, they're successful because they don't impose these limiting beliefs that everything stays the same. They never impose that on themselves. They know that things can change, things can shift, things can move. And it's really, and that the breakthrough can happen. And it's when life is at the highest level of chaos is when you can make the highest level of breakthrough. So remind yourself that breakthroughs, that chaos is my greatest opportunity for breakthrough. Okay. Yes, Heidi, I can get overwhelmed pretty quick. So if I am aware of that, I'm more mindful and can stay on track. Absolutely. I agree with you. Thank you for all of your wisdoms. Okay, so if nobody else has any more questions, let's do a closing prayer and move on with the day and the week. Okay, so dear God, angel, spirit, guides, and masters, divine creator, thank you so much for allowing us to create this sacred space on the topic of how chaos can bring our greatest breakthroughs in our lives. Thank you so much for sharing this beautiful energy with these beautiful souls in this room. And I ask you to always, always continue to guide them, show them wisdom, show them compassion, show them the path to their highest and best opportunities and prosperity and abundance in their life, that they can start to see that the chaos in their life, and when they do reach the highest levels of chaos, that it's their greatest opportunity and our greatest opportunity for our life breakthrough, for the eternal expansion and growth of our soul. So thank you so much for allowing us to see these profound wisdoms and messages and sharing it with us, Divine, so that we may all level up, transcend the eye of the storm, and make those breakthroughs in life, which is really for the purpose of our soul's expansion and growth. So thank you so much for your continued guidance, your continued wisdoms, your continued support, your continued messages, your continued protections, and most importantly, your unconditional love. And so it is now.